and welcome to happilyeducated.com. Today's post warrants a bit of a disclaimer up front. Knowing about parasocial relationships has not enhanced the quality of my life in any meaningful way. Thus, this post is going to be quite brief. My reason for telling you about them is simply that they are relevant to my dissertation, and my plan is to tell you about the various theories and ideas that I use in my dissertation before telling you about the study itself, so that it will be easier to explain when the time comes. So essentially, parasocial relationships are one-sided relationships that form when one individual knows about the other, but not vice versa. So typically these relationships involve little or no face-to-face interaction, and very often they take place via a computer screen or television screen or something like that. So for example, if you are a big fan of some celebrity and you know all the intimate details of their lives, although you've never actually met the person, then you are probably involved in a parasocial relationship. My husband's relationship with the members of Pink Floyd definitely fits this description. In fact, when I asked him if it would be okay for me to tell the world that he's a Pink Floyd fan, he said, "Well, fan is sort of an understatement." And it really is an understatement. I mean, he is totally bonkers about Pink Floyd. He knows everything about them, and he genuinely and truly cares about the band members. For whatever reason, I have never cared about any celebrity enough to, follow their life story in that kind of way or have that sort of personally meaningful relationship. However, parasocial relationships can also form between real people and fictional characters, and I have most certainly experienced that type of relationship, though only briefly. So for example, a couple of years ago, I had to stop watching the show Weeds because I realized that I was thinking about the main character when I should have been working. And, had it been a positive relationship, I might have continued watching the show despite the distraction. But as the series progressed, I increasingly came to see that Nancy is a selfish, greedy, manipulative, spiteful, vindictive, just generally horrible individual who was potentially a bad influence on me. So, although it was hard, I eventually broke up with her. And I can think of lots of other examples of these, similar types of relationships, from, Harry Potter to Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City. And thankfully, these relationships are usually very short-lived for me. As soon as the story's over, I really couldn't care less about the characters anymore. But while I am absorbed in the story, I really do care about what happens to these people, even though they are totally made up. So parasocial relationships can form any time when one individual has access to information about the other. And whether or not these relationships are positive or healthy probably depends mostly on who they are with and how intimate they are. My dissertation study seems to show at this point that young developing musicians can benefit greatly from parasocial interaction with famous musicians or more experienced musicians. However, my Weeds experience and the existence of celebrity stalkers suggests that parasocial relationships can definitely go too far. And I know that personally I prefer to focus my energy and attention on relationships with real live people who, I know and who know me and who I care about and who also care about me. But that said, I really appreciate that you've taken the time to hang out with me today via your computer screen. And I hope to see you again in a couple days. But until then, happy learning.